Halo multiplayer free-to-play, Sony and Microsoft August events, your weekly gaming news recap, and cookie review coming right up. It's Friday. Welcome back to Sody Pop right here on YouTube. Today is Friday, July 31st. I'm Maddie, and this is your weekly gaming news recap and cookie review. If you're looking for more in-depth coverage, check out Chatting with Maddie every Monday and Wednesday, covering this week in gaming news. And also I have a very special Chatting with Maddie where I go over how this could be the last Xbox in Microsoft console generation. So go ahead and check that out. I'll go and link it up in the description box above and below. Without further ado, I have my drink. Let's chat. And remember, everything is linked down below in the description if you want to skip to any timestamps. Alright, to start with, we have a PlayStation documentary. This courtesy of VGC. Remember, we covered this a little bit earlier, coming September 7th, featuring the likes of Mark Cerny, Jim Ryan, Hideo Kojima, Phil Harrison, and others. Lots and lots of cool stuff. I am definitely looking forward to this, from bedrooms to billions. So go ahead and check that out once released. Also, LEGO released their NES Classic. I mean, look at this. It looks phenomenal. This is GameSpot's review of it, but as you can see, it has the CRT TV right there. I think that looks amazing. Would look fantastic right in this little cubby behind me. And then you have the controller, the actual NES system, the Super Mario Bros. Game cart, which I believe can functionally actually go in the system. Yeah, they have like it popping out there in the system. It looks really, really good. It's around $300 US dollars, that is. So go ahead and check that out. Might be something I'm interested in getting. Also, Stardew Valley has a collector's edition coming out for the Nintendo Switch and PC. $69 for the Switch, $64 for the PC. Features a map, some stickers, Deed to the Land. Looks like a little diorama there. Looks really cute. If you're into Stardew Valley, go ahead and check that out, courtesy of Fangamer. Also, the PlayStation Plus games for August are officially up. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered campaign, and then Fall Guys, which of course is a like 60-person game where you run around. Looks really fantastic. Tons of mayhem. Some really good games for PlayStation Plus. Also, if you're looking for a deal on PlayStation Plus courtesy of GameSpot, they seeked out a 12-month subscription for $36. It's a digital code. You can get it through eBay. I'll go ahead and link that below as well. But I've used this before and it works just fine. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in another 12 months. And again, if you already got one, you can stack them so they last for a while. And the new games with gold are out as well. Portal Knights, Override, MX Unleashed, Red Faction 2. No huge games, I would say. Red Faction 2 probably one of the better ones, but go ahead and start downloading your games with gold. And then in addition to games with gold, Tom Warren from The Verge says that we have the 12 and 24 month Xbox Live Gold subscriptions from the company store has been removed, so you can no longer purchase them, furthering that we might see Microsoft fully pull gold memberships and just go with the Xbox Game Pass memberships with xCloud. Also a rumor that we could just be seeing Microsoft for this next generation give online for free as opposed to paying for online. It's funny because they pioneered paying for online back in the day, and now hopefully they're the first ones to get away from it. That'd be fantastic. You know, we've seen Nintendo finally have a paid for online with Nintendo Switch Online, where they're giving you some SNES games and NES games. That'd be very cool if they step away from that. Also this week we saw Animal Crossing released their newest update. Remember, we saw the update earlier in July for swimming, and then this update gives you fireworks and also dream suites and save backups. Finally, it's ridiculous save backups came this late. Dream suites allow you to go to other people's islands without them being there, although you can't permanently affect anything. This was the thing that was used to set up like story islands. Remember, like in one of the old games, New Leaf, I think you could actually there's this horror island which someone set up this whole horror story that you could follow along. Very, very interesting. And they have unveiled that you can actually trip. So when you dig up a gold nugget, you'll get a King Tut mask, and the King Tut mask will make you trip a lot more than if you didn't wear the King Tut mask. So, quote, why would this happen more often if you're wearing the mask? Well, in the past, Animal Crossing has had a luck system that affected all sorts of day-to-day things. On a good luck day, everything is amazing. You'll get more money from rocks. It'll be easier to friend villagers, and you'll even have a better time avoiding bees because they'll move slower. The world's your oysters. On bad luck days, it's a complete opposite. You'll find fewer resources, it'll be harder to raise friendship levels, the money rack will become stingy, and just pour salt on the wound, you'll trip and fall on your face more often. So it looks really fantastic. It seems like they are maybe going to incorporate a luck system to this game as well. And if you haven't yet, guys, please like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I love chatting with you. Also, click the bell for new video alerts. If you like content like this, I want to provide more and more and better content for you. Of course, I have a whole new setup. You maybe can't see around me, but you can see maybe the light is a little more even because I have a whole new room. So I have more things coming with that. I have a desk finally being shipped in, so I'm excited to provide more and better content to you as well, and share it with your friends. All right, moving on to today's news. Sega's president is resigning for personal reasons. This is Kenji Matsubara, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Started in 2017. He started as Chief Technology Officer. So we have seen him coming from Zynga, and he is now at Sega and now retiring. So he's obviously overseen stuff like getting Persona 5 in the fold with Atlus, and then of course Shin Megami Tensei as well. And then of course I'm sure he's had something to do with the recent Sonic the Hedgehog movie as well. So Sega's been moving in a pretty positive direction. It's sad to see him go. Hopefully he is able to fix his personal reasons and be just fine. We never know what that is. Also, EA says it's more interested than ever in acquisition amid Warner Brothers reports. This again coming from Video Game Chronicle. Now, this may not be exactly what you think it is. The title seems like, oh, they're really interested in getting Warner Brothers game studios. Remember, that's come up. Microsoft was interested, so were a few other companies. Let's go ahead and read into this. So, asked on Thursday about its acquisition strategy and the quote, one big asset we know of, which is referring to WB Game Studios, to be believed to be for sale, COO Blake Jorgensen declined to comment specifically on Warner, but said EA was more interested than ever in acquiring talent. However, the exec emphasized that EA was more interested in acquiring talent than game franchises. Curious, because that could also mean that they are interested in acquiring the studios, because the studios do not come with a licensee. Remember, we have Batman that's tied in with the studios. We also have Harry Potter that's tied in with a couple of these studios, but those would not come with this sale. They would stay at Warner Brothers or whoever owns them. Quote, it is very rare that we don't get a chance to look at anything that's up for sale. A little bit further down, I can't comment on any specific acquisition other than I will tell you this. As you have seen in the past, and what we've done best is for the long-term relationships with people, and we're really trying to buy great talent versus great games. Jorgensen pointed out to Respawn as a, quote, classic example of this type of acquisition EA typically likes to go for. It wasn't about Titanfall. And that's no offense to Titanfall. It's an amazing game, and we'll maybe see Titanfall at some point, sometime down the road. But it was really about the team, and it starts at the top with Vince, and it goes all the way down through the organization as a whole. And it may take some time, but trust that we are more interested than ever because we see talent and building great new franchises is a critical long-term growth for business. So that initially, it doesn't seem like, okay, they're interested in talent, but it actually says to me they're more interested in the WB acquisition since they're talking about talent instead of the licensees, which come with Batman and everything. Again, maybe this is good or bad. I mean, would a Batman game be good with that type of battling system if it wasn't Batman or wasn't Spider-Man, or, you know, we saw it in Shadow Mordor as well. So go ahead, comment what you think down below. It wouldn't surprise me to see EA take them over. Of course, Microsoft is in bidding as well as a few other big studios. Battletoads got announced. How weird. This is such a weird thing. So let me go ahead and play this trailer. Battletoads got announced, not in the Xbox, of course, by Rare Studios. It makes no sense. It's so weird. So we saw this several years ago at an E3. From what I've heard, people really thought it needed a lot of work. We finally saw it pop up here. It's very ham and kind of like physical comedy, like a lot of comedy in this. Here's my take on it. Look at this. The side-scrolling beat-em-up action looks phenomenal. The animation looks really good. Reminds me a lot of something like Castle Crashers, actually. Now they have these classic racing levels. The hover bike levels were always the worst in the original Battletoads. The original Battletoads was really hard. And then you also have these side-scrolling levels, which are interesting, so not beat 'em up. I think that's a part that concerns me, is that you have unlock these little like mini games as well. I think this could be fantastic. It looks really good. The art I really like. I like the comedy behind it as well. The beat 'em up genre is awesome. I love it. I think this could be really good as a beat 'em up, but where it concerns me is all this stuff, all this extra gameplay mechanics. I mean, look, you even have a shmup here, or shoot 'em up. That's where it worries me, where it could really go awry as far as like the gameplay. Just make a really good classic beat 'em up. I think that's all people really want from this game. But we'll see. Hopefully it's really, really good. It's weird. It's so weird that Xbox didn't have this as part of its official stuff. I mean, this is an Xbox franchise people have been looking at for it. So go ahead and check out that Battletoads. It's so weird. Also, we saw at the top of Steam charts Grounded, which is coming, and then Flight Simulator, both coming from Microsoft Studios. So Microsoft Flight Simulator and Grounded. How fantastic. That is so cool. What a good thing for Microsoft. Personally, I'm not really interested in Flight Simulator at all, but Grounded, now I want to try it out. It's part of Xbox Game Pass, so I'm going to go ahead and check it out as part of that. But I wasn't interested at all, and it seems like people are getting really, really into it. This is coming from Obsidian Studio, of course, known for, I think, Pillars of Eternity and a whole bunch of amazing games. So I will definitely check it out. Huge surprise. What a phenomenal thing to be #1 on the Steam sales chart, especially for Flight Simulator. I played that with my dad way back in the day. All right, and then we have Halo. So Halo has tons of controversy since the last release of the gameplay. Of course, I talked about it in the last Xbox episode where I said, hey, maybe this could be the last Xbox that we see from Microsoft. Well, they addressed a few things. This is coming from IGN on July 31st. So we saw the community manager, John Junjinsek, I can't pronounce that, I'm sure, explained that there are two key areas being debated around the community. Overall, the art style and visual fidelity. So we'll skip on the art style. But we're going to go ahead for the visual fidelity, because a lot of people are complaining like, man, this does not look like a next-gen game. I happen to agree. I'm excited. The gameplay looks fun and fine. I'm totally into going for another good Halo game. But no, it did not look next-gen. So we'll read into this. So he says, in many ways, we are in agreement here. We have to work to address some of these issues in the areas and raise a level of fidelity and overall presentation for the final game. The build used to run the campaign demo was a, quote, work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. While some of the feedback was expected and speaks to areas already in progress, other aspects of feedback have brought new opportunities and considerations to light that the team is taking very seriously and working to assess. We don't have firm answers or outcomes to share yet, but the team is working as quickly as possible on plans to address some of the feedback around detail, clarity, and overall fidelity. The team is committed and focused on making sure we have a beautiful world for players to explore when we launch. What the heck? I mean, seriously, I think that's a crazy response. It just seems like, oh, we're taking feedback. You're like a few months from launch. Are you crazy? Again, it was so confusing to me, because I'm like, Xbox has been so careful with their message. They have been good about being like very focused on the gamer and stuff, and then they say, hey, most powerful console, Halo. They paired those two together. This is the flagship. They use flagship in their own talking points, and then they show this, and then as a response to it, they're like, yeah, we know. Yes, and we're taking feedback from you guys. Like, great, that would have been good a year ago, but you're so close to the launch of this like new flagship game. I'm still excited to play it, but again, I think you have to take it in in results of like, this is supposed to be pushing graphical fidelity. This is the most powerful console ever, but we're not seeing that from Halo, and they seem to be behind the 8 ball for sure. Like, oh, we're still improving. We're like, why show it if it's not going to look phenomenal? And apparently, I mean, you can look at it and it doesn't look like the next gen, as many people have said. I don't think many would. The people that I trust in the games media and stuff, everyone's like, yeah, I mean, it looks good, it looks fun, but it doesn't look good from the graphical, like, again, next gen type thing. So really weird. And that just shows me, that statement just shows me like, oh, we don't really know what's going on. We'll fix it at some point. So really weird. In other news, some good news for Halo multiplayer will be free to play, says retailer. So this is a retailer accidentally leaked this, and then it was confirmed later. So Smith Toys is coming from IGN again. Smith Toys includes Halo Infinite in its listing for Xbox Series X, saying the legendary Halo series returns with the most expansive Master Chief campaign yet and a groundbreaking free-to-play multiplayer experience. Enjoy up to 120 frames per second and greatly reduced load times, creating seamless gameplay with Xbox Series X. Both sources from Windows Central and noted Xbox insider Klobrille have since supported the claim that Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free to play. Klobrille adds that the 120 frames per second is an aim for arena mode on the Series X, and that multiplayer will include a battle pass system and feature types of customization new to the Halo series. Again, I mean, that's amazing. 120 frames per second, free to play, which is freaking awesome. Getting more and more people to make a great ecosystem. I think that's what Halo needs. What a good idea, especially when we're seeing so many good free to play games. You might as well make the multiplayer free to play. And there's going to be some sort of Game Pass. So it remains to be seen exactly what that means. Well, probably just cosmetics. They said there won't be any loot box type, like you won't be buying loot boxes, but we'll see how they actually incorporate the free-to-play mechanics and what that means. If you buy the base game, will you be kind of excluded from those free-to-play mechanics? Who knows? There's going to be a Game Pass. I'm excited. Halo is always fun, always controls super well. So hopefully this is no exception. Tom Warren going more into Microsoft. Again, he's teasing here, coming from The Verge. August is going to be an interesting month, especially with Arsenal beat Chelsea in the FA Cup and Microsoft announces Redacted. Someone commented and he said there's one more piece of Microsoft hardware rumored for August. What could this be? Remember a few weeks back, if you're not used to watching me, I did report on a story that there was a possible another Microsoft console, and we found it in some like hardware details. So it could be the Series X all digital edition, which is probably the least exciting of all the editions. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, you're going on parity with PS5, but I want to see the Series S, the Lockhart, that could be the cheaper version. But it seems like we might be seeing that third Xbox now, the all digital edition of the Series X. And then Jeff Grubb teasing some stuff for August. So he has in his little map here, we see that in August, we see possibly a state of play. The state of play, not dated, but it says August state of play coming before the August Xboxing Day. So we know, or we think we know, that both Microsoft and Sony will have August events. I mean, they have to. We haven't seen the prices for any of these consoles or anything. I think last time they announced something, it was July, or last time they announced consoles, 5-6 years ago, it was in July or June they announced prices. Like, we need to hear about prices. They're probably waiting for each other, but hopefully we hear about prices. But he says, you can see off to the right here, right now I think it's before Sony, referring to, but that's very shaky. So it may or may not be before that we are going to see Sony or Microsoft go. Doesn't matter. I'm not sure. Sony can always change the price if they want to. Microsoft can always change the price. So we'll see. Very, very exciting. Let me know what you think about Halo. It's fantastic. So guys, thank you so much. Again, my name is Maddie. We're going to go right into the cookie review portion because I'm very excited and it's Friday. So if you're going to end here, have a wonderful weekend. If not, stick around for the cookie review, of which we have these wonderful cream sandwiches coming from none other than Sprouts. So these are like Sprouts' own Oreos. I've actually never tried them, but I'm sure they're very, very good. So we're gonna go ahead and try these. They look very, very similar to Oreos. These are the vanilla version, so they have the vanilla wafer cookie inside the vanilla cream. They smell very similar to what you would expect for like the vanilla Oreos. Smell very good. So of course we'll do the density test. Good density. I mean, again, very similar to Oreos. Like more similar. There are a whole bunch of different Oreo brands. This is probably the most similar in smell and everything so far. So let's go ahead and give these a taste test. Let's get it open. Cream on the other side. Let's give them a taste test. Yeah. Tastes like vanilla cream Oreo. Maybe a little bit cheaper. And, I mean, the price wise. Probably find it for cheaper at Sprouts because I think they make these themselves. Yeah. Delicious. Usually the chocolate ones are the ones that have like the weird, there's usually a little bit of weird flavor in the chocolate ones. But vanilla ones, man, these are dead on. Maybe if I had them side by side, I would notice the difference. But for me, I don't notice anything. These are great. Great out of a great cookie. I mean, they're what you expect. Now, yeah, would I rather have the cookie from Bristol Farms? Of course. I want to have that when I die. Like, it looks fantastic. But these are very, very good. I mean, have them with milk, coffee, water by themselves. I'm going to be probably eating these all weekend. Yeah. All right. That about does it. My mouth is full. I shouldn't have eaten that last bite. But thank you so much. I'm Maddie. This has been Chatty with Maddie. Of course, we have the weekly gaming news recap. Remember to check me out on 3Cheese and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. And have a wonderful weekend. Remember,
be yourself
and eat those cookies. Bye.